Okay, I'm just making a really quick short video for us to finish up problem 5C from class today. Remember that this is from page 14, and I just want to remind everybody that because we are talking about finding the z-score, we are assuming this is a normal model with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, and the middle 80% is going to literally lie in the central portion, right, of our picture, and we kind of looking something like this. So I'm going to redraw that image, but in much more detail below. So we're going to try to figure out z-scores that split the middle 80. So let's go ahead and graph that, right? That looks something like, it doesn't need to be drawn to scale, but let's say there's 80% in the middle, and then I have a lower bound and an upper bound, right? That's going to split that 80%. Well, unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to do two inverse norms. We're going to have to compute the lower bound separately from the upper bound. So I just want to take a look at this entire picture, and I want you to say, well, if 80% is in the middle, then 100 minus 80, or 20%, is left over. All right, so we've got a 20% chunk that we've got to deal with. But this picture is perfectly symmetric. So we split that 20% on either side, and we have exactly 10% of our data on the left of our lower bound and 10% on the right of our upper bound. So if you're looking at this picture, to the left of the lower bound is exactly 10%. But if you extend all the way to the left of the upper bound, which we must know because our calculator only understands percent to the left, then we have 80 plus 90, 80 plus 10, or 90% of the data lying to the left of the upper bound. Okay? So we want to compute two separate inverse norms. So we would take an inverse norm for, actually, let me redo this. We're going to do this as like two separate things, right? We're going to do our lower bound first as one inverse norm. And there's exactly 10% to the left. The mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. And I'm not going to plug this in my calculator, but I'm just shifting through my notes to find the answer so that I don't have to waste time in the video. I rounded it to 2 decimal places, so I got negative 1.28. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to repeat the process for my upper bound, except this time when I do my inverse norm, I'm going to have 90% with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. And if I go and I put this in my calculator with all 90% to the left, I see that I have a positive 1.28. So in this case, we would say the middle 80% falls between negative 1.28 and positive 1.28. And the only reason that we are getting the same number with an opposite sign is that this is z-scores. If we did not have a 0 lying directly in the middle of this picture, we would not get the same number with opposite signs here. So this is very similar to a few online homework problems. One, I think, says like the middle 40%, and the other one says find the IQR, which I hope you remember, if you think about our stuff for the box plots, is the middle 50%. So for both of those type, like, I know that these are examples that I've seen on the online homework. So if you come across these, then I want you to approach it by finding two separate inverse norms to solve this guy. Good luck. Let me know if you have any other questions.